When I first graduated and started the business, I didn't write down a business plan. I didn't know what quarterly reports were. I just knew that I was pretty much broke. And so when you're broke, you're not really as afraid. We're not taught to have a niche and go with it and stay focused. That's a very business-minded way of thinking. I want to just help everybody. I like making people feel good. But that doesn't necessarily make me revenue.
What's up, fitness fans? Welcome back. This is Eric Malzone, and you are listening to the Future of Fitness podcast and interview series. This is episode number 48, and I talked to Julie STARR, and I love talking to Julie. She's great. She's funny. She's charming. She has a ton of experience in the industry, and I'll tell you more about her just in a second, but I do have a call to action for you. So if you are a fitness professional and you've been in the industry for at least 7 years, and you're now looking to take your leap forward to be a modern fitness professional and take advantage of all of the opportunities that we have as far as technology and being mobile, this is the group for you. It's a very powerful thing. And if you want more information, just go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/mastermind, and you'll get all the information you need. Hopefully you'll fill out the application and then schedule an interview with me. And I would love to talk to you. We are limiting only to 12 spots. So that's not to necessarily provide scarcity, just let you know that's how small the group will be. It'll be very intimate, and everybody will committed to everyone else's success, therefore taking a giant leap forward in a way that you couldn't do on your own. So back to Julie. So Julie has been in the world of academia as far as nutrition goes. She has stepped out, and now she has developed multiple revenue streams. She owns a couple studios. She does retreats. She's writing a book right now, which sounds epic. And there's just so many things she's doing right now that are amazing. And she truly is a modern fitness professional and somebody who's spent the time in the trenches and done it all. So there's a lot of actionable items and advice that you can take from this. So hopefully you enjoy it and you get something from it. And if you do, please go to iTunes and rank us favorably. That would be fantastic. So without further ado, this is episode number 48. This is Julie STARR. I know you'll enjoy it. Off we go. Hey, fitness fans, welcome back. This is your host, Eric Malzone, and today I'm sitting with Julie STARR. Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think I know your message is really valuable to the fitness, and especially more specifically the fitness or the nutrition industry. And first of all, let's just give some background on your story, right? Who you are, who you work with, kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis. And specifically, I think your education is really unique because a lot of people don't go through all the education that you've done to be a nutritionist, right? Go ahead.
Well, to make a long story short, I first got into health by studying to be a midwife, actually. So I went to school to be a midwife. In college, after college, I went to midwifery school. So I was studying birth and women's health, but I was always drawn to the nutrition side of things. And I worked with a lot of herbalists and a lot of farms. And then the accreditation started to change in the nutrition, in the midwifery field. So I pressed pause on my midwifery training, and I wanted to go back to school. So I figured, hey, I'm good at nutrition. I like to talk about food. I'm going to go get my master's. So I applied for my master's in science and nutrition at BU. I got in. And I got my master's there, which was a pretty long, I think I was there for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways you can become a nutritionist, but I really wanted to learn the science of it. There's some programs that focus more on public health, like at Tufts. So I basically started my nutrition career right out of grad school and just started seeing clients. I knew I wanted to just do one-on-one. So back then it was all just about having a private practice. I didn't want to work in a hospital. So after studying to be a nutritionist, so that was a little over 10 years ago, I then became certified to teach yoga. I then became certified to teach barre. So at this point in my career, I am certified as a nutritionist, yoga teacher, barre teacher, doula, and childbirth educator. So that's
that is
didn't even tell
That
you
is a
about
very
that.
unique skill set, Julie. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I love is that I really did study all of this from Eastern and Western philosophy. I've had I've worked on herb farms picking echinacea with people that didn't really believe in modern medicine. And then I also studied, the complete opposite. Boston BU is pretty traditional in terms of how they teach and from their perspective. So yeah, I feel very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. So you also own studios now. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, yes. Forgot about that.
Yeah. That little thing, those
So
businesses that
other
run.
than my nutrition that I do, I own STARR Yoga Studios. So I have two right now. I have one in Rosendale, Mass, which is a part of Boston. And then my other one is in West Hartford, Connecticut, which is my hometown. And I always wanted to open something up there. My dad's from there. My grandmother still lives there. So I run those. I do teacher trainings, both in yoga and barre. We're actually in the middle of a yoga training right now. So just finished a module last weekend.
Cool.
And I host retreats, so wellness retreats. I do about 2 to 3 a year. The last one was in the Azores, so we all went to Portugal. There's about 15 of us, and all of my retreats include just a great combination of fun and sweating, and sometimes both of those happen at the same time, a lot of times, but I'm a huge foodie, so it's not usually those retreats. We talk more about having a love of food and just the culture of food and healthy eating as opposed to clean eating. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
So you have a very strong basis in academia, right? You spend a lot of time learning. Now you're a business owner with multiple revenue streams and projects and going on. Tell us about that experience about learning, the academia is obvious. That was a structured setting, but then having to come in and learn how to run your business and your studios and how to market and all that. How was that experience for you? And walk us along that journey a little bit, because I think that's something a lot of people are going through right now.
Okay. Well, I went to Hampshire College.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know about Hampshire, but Hampshire's in Amherst, Mass. And there are no grades. So there's no grades, there's no tests, and there's no majors. So in order to think of it like you have a thesis almost. So you have to create your idea. You have to figure out what classes you want to take to get to where you want to go. You have to find teachers that will support you and be there to edit your papers. So I basically had to learn to sell myself, and I shouldn't say it that way.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah.
But I had to be confident in and passionate in what I was doing, but also be able to take that passion and give it to somebody else, to be like, look at my passion, and just transfer it to them as well. So I've always been very interested in making sure that other people understood where I was coming from. Like all of us scientists or anybody that has an interest in doing something, it's not difficult to convince yourself why, what you're learning is important, but it's having other people, capturing their interest, getting them to listen. So I learned that from Hampshire. And in a way, because Hampshire was this very idealistic place, because they didn't really teach us some other things, like you actually need money to start a business or maybe a business plan, but if you love what you did, you can do it.
Right.
But I just always knew that this is what I wanted to do, was something on my own. And it's almost just being naive and not knowing what you needed to do in business that allowed me to do it and allowed me to take the risks. When I first graduated and started the business, I didn't write down a business plan. I didn't know what quarterly reports were. I just knew that I was pretty much broke. And so when you're broke, you're not really as afraid. You know, it's like you make some money, you lose some money, then you're just back at where you were before. So I was very social. I'd say that I was was very good at being social. Put it that way. Sorry, mom and dad. In the city in Boston, and I had a really good network. So as soon as I graduated, I created cards on Vistaprint saying I was a nutritionist, and I just gave them out to everybody that I came in contact with. And it was really through word of mouth that I got my first clients. And once I got my first clients in nutrition, it just was just word of mouth from there. There was no Instagram. Facebook had maybe just started, because this is a little over 10 years ago. So at that point, I just said yes to everything. So if someone needed a nutritionist to talk somewhere, as we were saying earlier, a lot of nutritionists they don't public speak. And I didn't really love public speaking, but I didn't want it to get in the way of me being a nutritionist. So I just said yes. And I tried to wing a bunch of things, and I guess I did it pretty well because I was asked back. So that's really how I started my career, was just saying yes to everything and letting go of fear, and learning along the way. Definitely made a lot of mistakes.
That's a huge differentiator. I mean, most people will say, no, I'm not ready. I can't do that. No, that's not my particular niche. That's not, there's a million different reasons to say no, when saying yes is the best path. I mean, that's a great lesson.
I had confidence in myself in terms of my education and my experience. So it was that I knew that, and I also was taught by my mentors that if somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, it's okay. You don't have to know everything, but you don't want to leave that person just with nowhere to go. So just knowing what you know, but then also knowing what you don't know. So if you don't know it, outsource. Give them somebody else to go to, because then they'll still come back to you for the things that you can help them with.
Right. Well, that's also how you build a referral network, right? I mean, that's the basics of it, is staying in your lane, realizing what you're good at, and then building that network of people who can offer, the full package alongside with you. So we've been talking about this a lot. You're seeing the industry change, right? Mm-hmm. You're seeing the nutrition industry specifically change. Give us your insight on that, and what you think needs to happen for this thing to evolve.
The biggest thing that I see is that nutrition is truly becoming a business. And that's something that's lacking in most nutrition programs. So in my master's program, there was one business class we had to take. It was SMG 299. It's Intro to Business. It was so foreign to us as master's level nutrition students. Like, why do we have to learn this? It just wasn't created for us. It was a class that, anybody that wanted to get into the business school would take too. So we were literally with 18-year-olds that wanted to be, huge businessmen. And then here we are, mostly like 23 and up nutrition students in this business class. So it didn't really work for us. But we do need to know business. And I know that now. It's more so than ever. Like, going back to me referencing my mistakes, it would have been really helpful for me to have made some goals, some financial goals, because I didn't do that. And now I do. It would have been helpful for me to know a little bit about taxes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
taxes can be shocking.
Taxes as a small business owner, I didn't know that. There's so many more opportunities for nutritionists to have careers that are outside salaried positions. And because of that, we need to know how to maneuver among like those types of careers. So I wasn't taught that. And a lot of nutrition now is virtual, or has, you need to have some skills in terms of social media, in terms of content writing. And we were not taught that. We were taught how to write science papers. We weren't taught how to write content, which I also think is a new word. I don't think back in the day people were like, oh, you need some content. Like, what I would have had no idea what someone was talking about if they said that. And now it's the number one thing people say to me. Yeah. Julie, just write down some content. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. You mean bullet points? Top 10s, that's what they want. Top 10 foods that will help warm you up in the winter. Those are the types of things that nutritionists can write, but it's a different way of thinking and it's a different way of writing. And so I think that that's where the field is going that way, and that's where the programs for nutritionists need to add these types of classes in.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, coming from a digital marketing background, that content is a big deal. And it has been for like the last, I'm going to say 5 to 6 years, everyone started getting into providing content, right? Mm-hmm. Now what we're starting to see throughout the market as everything starts to go digital and virtual, is that the day of the generalist is kind of gone. It's going away quickly. Mm-hmm. So for example, for someone like you with your specific background, like you can carve out a niche for, women who just had a child, who need to lose weight, who love yoga, right? Mm-hmm. That can be your solidified audience. Now you can start building content that is specifically for that group and start attracting those people all over the world, right? And that's the beauty of it. But when most people are stuck in is, well, I do nutrition for everybody, right? And that's not the thing. And with now everyone's a content creator, right? Quote unquote, doing air quotes right now. But in order to stand out from the crowd with all of the content that's now being created, you have to really, really carve out your niche. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're seeing now. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Which is a very different perspective that we are taught in nutrition school. We're given we're told that everybody needs nutrition and that there are so many jobs, but I guess that's the complete opposite of what you just said. We're not taught to have a niche and go with it and stay focused. That's a very business-minded way of thinking. So, that's something that I still have trouble doing. I want to still say yes to everything and do everything. And I often have to stop myself and say, no, like put your business hat on, write down your quarterly goals. We all, as a nutritionist and a yogi and a barre teacher, I want to just help everybody. Mm-hmm. I like making people feel good, but that doesn't necessarily make me revenue. So I have to remind myself, like I'm at a different point in my career, and say, is this project that I say yes to, will it make me revenue? Is it a part of my path? Is it going to get me to reach my goal that I put down, in my 1-year plan? Is this going to help me reach my goal in my 3-year plan? Maybe it won't, but do I have time for it then? Maybe it's something I work on next year. Maybe I refer it out to somebody else that could do an equally good job. So that's something that I'm always working on.
Awesome. Where do you see your practice going in the next 2 years? Like where are you focused?
I just worked on this yesterday, writing down my
points. Good timing.
Yeah, I know. So, I do a lot of different things.
Yes, so. I'm aware. Yep.
Okay. So basically the next couple of years, and some of the things I can't really disclose the details yet because they haven't been finalized.
Right.
But I am with my studios. I hope that both my studios continue to succeed. I want to just continue working on quality control there and just still offering yoga trainings, maybe once or twice a year, and hiring different teachers to take part in them. So I'm not just leaving them. So that's my studio goal. At one point it was to open other studios, and now that's not an interest after I reviewed some numbers and some ultimate goals I want to get to. So just keeping my studios running and keeping them high quality and offering trainings. In terms of my nutrition, I do want to press pause on seeing individual clients, and I'm actually creating a nutrition supplement line with a partner. So that hopefully our first product will be out in the spring. So I will. That's been really fun. It's been a lot of research and just giving me an opportunity to get back into the nutrition world, but also the food world. Again, which I love, and just getting back to working with people, but in a different way, because I have to, do my research and see what people actually want. So in the next 2 years, hopefully I have a few products, maybe, I don't know, a few being 10, I don't know, but a product line, and working on building that brand. And through that brand, hopefully offering, that will also open up some other opportunities where I can be on some more panels. I do have a couple of panels I'll be on for conferences. One is the Strong Process Summit. That's in Boston. That's coming up in April. So I love doing group talks. So I would like to have on my calendar year at least 2 panel type of conferences. And then I also want to do retreats, but I want the retreats that I'm doing, I want to be shorter and more localized. So like 3-day retreats for people who just need an escape from the city, or a pause on their day-to-day activities, but where they can go someplace that they can learn skills that they can then weave into their daily lives. So what I find is that so many people, when they go on retreats, it's just so different from their normal life, that when they come back, they don't take anything back. That's just like that's what they did when they were in Costa Rica. But then they get back to Boston and they're like, well, I can't eat papaya, mango,
right,
coconut rice for breakfast. I'm not in Costa Rica. So I'm actually working on partnering with a wonderful boutique hotel line. And hopefully offering wellness programs through them that we'll have probably every quarter. Now I do know what a quarter is. So and then I'm also writing a book. That's right now it's not going as quickly as I wanted it to, because I had to take that hat off, and I'm working on the nutrition supplement line now, but hopefully the book will be published within 2 years.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. That's...
Yeah. I'd imagine just verbalizing all that was probably a little bit of a point of realization. Wow, I am a busy person. Well, I love it because you are, what we have termed the modern fitness and health professional, right? Someone who's, done the local, right? Has gone to the local market and now is expanding their reach due to all of the advantages that we have now, at our hands. We can do social media, we can do content, we can plan things internationally or nationally. So it's really, it's a great story. And I hope more people within the industry kind of go your way, right? Start seeing that, hey, we can't just depend on local markets anymore. Because here's the news, right? If you're depending on a local market solely, there's a lot of people globally who are going after the same market within your,
yes,
your little town. And that's, if that doesn't scare you into action a little bit, I don't know what will. What's the topic of your book? Because we talked about this earlier, and I'm really, I think it's awesome. I love it.
Okay, so it's funny because when I tell people that I'm going to write a book, they all think it's going to be just a nutrition book.
Yeah.
And everyone said that I should write a book about that, and that to me just sounded so boring. At Hampshire, we did a lot of writing, and I'm a strong writer. And I'm a storyteller. I really like, and that's how I consult too. And that's how I think I am approachable, is that I weave my stories and stories about my personal life or my friends in with facts and education. And so if people can feel like I'm approachable, then they'll listen. So going back to how you get people to listen. So I'm writing a book for women, mostly. Yeah. I mean, men can read it too, that are in this kind of awkward age in their life. So it's about mid-30s to mid-40s. So maybe you've had your kids, maybe you've gone through a divorce, You're not even perimenopausal yet, but your hormones are still they're out of control. Like all of me and my friends, we're like, when you become a grown up, you don't have acne? Why were we taught that? Because it's not true. What you eat change, like how your digestive system works changes when you're this age. Your relationship you have with your friends, with your partners, sex changes. All your needs change. And so my book is a playful look at this group, almost like a second puberty, where you have to redefine who you are. You're just in such a different place in your life than you were in your upper 20s. And, but in a really playful way. So we'll hit, what's your skin like, nutrition, how you feel emotionally, psychologically. And I'll be interviewing doctors that represent all those different categories and just see how they deal or experiences they have had with women in this age group. Even from the clothes that we wear. I can't tell you how many conversations my friends and I have about sneakers. Like it's almost not every day, but once a week. I'm like, can I wear Converse sneakers? Or do I look like that weird woman that's still holding on to her Converse sneakers? Like, I don't know, Like, I'm supposed to be professional, but am I like, do I need to be like fancy professional? Or
oh, that's great.
Like, these things are really like, this age, we don't know. Like,
yeah.
And, but we all talk about it and we joke about it, and workouts don't work the same for us. We've probably all done a juice cleanse at least 3 times, even though we know it didn't work the first time. So now we're like, okay, if it didn't work when we were 30, it's certainly not going to work now that we're 40. But if I eat like 5 potato chips, I gain 10 pounds. What? But then again, I'm also 40, and I know that life isn't only about how much I weigh. Yeah. So do I eat the chip or do I not eat the chip?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much. And every time I talk about the book, I always like smile, and it makes me. Yeah. It makes other people laugh too, and I think that in my career, after doing this for almost 12 years in this wellness field, it's very cutthroat. It's a really serious business, especially being an entrepreneur, and also a lonely business.
Yeah.
And, the yoga world, that's a whole other podcast, but the yoga studio world has got to be like the most unfriendliest business there is. So it's just not all, Lululemon and, sparkles and rainbows. It's hard.
Yeah.
So I just needed an outlet to just laugh and connect with people in a different way, and not just tell them like what they need to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're not that simple. Right? Humans, we're just not that simple. We would like to be, but we're not. So Julie, where do people find you? Where can people get more information on what you're doing?
So my website is STARR Life Studios. So that's STARR, like my last name, Life Studios, plural.com. You can find me there. I'm on Instagram under STARR Life Studios, but also my websites, my studios have their own as well, if you want to check out my studios. And that's it for now. But
awesome. Yeah. Well, much more to come, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, this has been great. It's such a great story. Hearing everything that you've evolved through and you continue to evolve. And this book is going to be awesome. I have no doubt. So Julie, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. And I know you and I will be talking soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Hey, fitness fans. Don't leave yet. This is Eric Malzone, your host, and I have an extremely special offer just for you. If you go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, you can claim your complimentary digital marketing audit. Are you a modern fitness professional? Do you have some sort of online presence? Do you have a sneaking suspicion that your website is not performing optimally and therefore costing you money? Well, this is how you start to find out all the details. Just like fitness, you need to start with an honest and objective assessment. So go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, fill out the form, and we will have it to you within 72 hours. It will cover your overall site performance, rank from 0 to 100, how you rank for your chosen keywords, so that's search engine optimization, your website traffic history over the last 6 months, so the ebbs and flows and what worked, what didn't, your website speed, which is highly relevant for people coming to your website and then bouncing off because it's working too slow, your social media presence, competitive analysis, and much, much more. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but this is the starting point for building your online business. So please take advantage of it. We're offering it because we feel it's deeply important to you and the industry overall. And you can claim it by going to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment. Do it today, do it right now. Don't hesitate. This offer won't last forever. So thank you for listening. Greatly appreciate it. If you ever need to reach me, hit me up, Eric at fitnessmarketingalliance.com. And I'll be talking to you very, very soon.